Today we're cleaning out this. Now before we get started, let me make one thing clear. The filthiness of this truck does not have anything to do with the company that leased me the truck. The truck was traded in the day before, or that morning in fact, I think, and nobody had time to get to it before I got to it. I needed a truck because what happened when my truck broke down was a logistical nightmare. And so nobody had any time to get to it. The guy who had it was a pig, but the company, had they been given the proper amount of time, this truck would not look this way. So this is not a reflection of the company. But I'll explain the logistical nightmare and how this all happened. Due to it being a weekend when my truck went down, because they always go down at the most convenient times, we had to do a three-way swap. And part of the problem with that three-way swap was, while we got all the loads covered, thankfully, there was still one load I had to cover once I got this truck. And so the guy took my load, we swapped out, headed to Oakland. I took his load, waited on somebody to come get that load. They came and got that load, gave me a furniture load coming out of Vernon, and I took it back to Sioux Falls. Well, I attempted to. I barely made it, and I was told multiple times I was lucky the truck didn't scatter itself. But I was lucky. But that being said, what ends up happening is that guy that was coming back with the load I ended up taking was pre-planned. And I can't, just being the weekend and all that other stuff and how everything works, I just can't toss that load off to somebody else. I said, hey, there's this, I need a rental truck. We have to keep going here. And they said, we got one. And, I was like, yeah, we gotta have it. So this was the only thing available. Trucks are getting hard to find. There's almost no turnover at this company. It's a great place to work. So to get an empty truck is a hard thing at times, but this was it. So I just wanted to make that clear, that this is not a reflection of the company. This is just one of those things that happened because they did not have the time or the heads up to do the things to this truck that needed to be done before I got to it. Because the other truck was spotless when I got to it. So I just needed to put that little disclaimer in. So let's get to showing you the truck, because I've already cleaned it once, but we're going to do a good cleaning. So what did the truck look like when I got it? Well, we're going to show you that. The guy obviously never flipped the mattress, and that was pretty much what was all over. I mean, it's just a mess. But see that grit? It was down here, it was about an inch thick. And I'll show you something else even more disturbing. I think the guy had a dog. He may have. We've already changed out the filters. Now it smells a little less like cigarette smoke. But this right here is typical. But this right here is that's just uncalled for. Stuff like this does happen under these trucks. So this is pretty common, but that's just disgusting. But it was like that all over the floor when I got the truck. Everything's covered in nicotine. I'm trying to get it good. You can kind of see the brown dinge right there. And the windows were so bad, I thought I was actually going to have to scrape them. You can kind of, well, you can't really see it here, but the windows were, that was the windows right there. I saved that piece. So I got a bunch of cleaners. I got a green machine. We're going to clean the mattress. We're going to clean the seats. Normally we'd replace the mattress. That's, if they'd had time and an extra mattress, this probably would have been swapped out. I'm not sure yet, but the truck had the miles, so I don't know if the guy quit or if they were just trading the truck in. It's kind of right there at that point. It's a good truck, but I don't have those answers, and nobody gives me those answers because that's not my business. So let's get a let me show you what the implements of cleaning are going to be. So I got a bunch of stuff here, like Mother's vinyl, leather, and rubber cleaner. This ought to clean pretty much most of everything. I got some rugs for the floor. Not that. I got a bucket, a bunch of Febreze, Armor All, Simple Green, glass cleaner, more leather and vinyl cleaner, some rags. This came in a 2-pack. And this stuff, but I don't like this stuff. Multi-surface stuff really puts like a chlorine smell in the air. It does a really good job, but not for an enclosed thing like that. I'm cleaning the vacuum out. This was left in the truck, so and then I've got the little green machine that we're going to use to clean the seats. So first things first, we're going to sweep, and then we're going to vacuum, and then we're going to start up top and then work our way down. I love rubber floors. They clean up real easy. Unfortunately, dirty real easily. They track in everything. That's why we got those carpets. That's kind of help mitigate the mess and make things look a little better. So let's get to sweeping. Now we're going to use this stuff I don't like under the bunk. It's pretty dirty under there, but this will do everything I need it to do, and since it's not in the cabin area, it shouldn't affect anything too much. Just be careful. There's a lot of electronics under these bunks, so you got to watch where you spray, watch where you wipe, and just pretty much be mindful of what you're doing. So let me get this cleaned up. Cha cha cha. Spraying it near the cabin air filter may not have been the best idea. We'll have to air that out. So a few minutes later, it's clean under here. You can clean that. It didn't take too terribly long, so let's start working on these walls. And I got something for that. When you clean vinyl, make sure you get something that is specifically made for vinyl. And the reason you need that is because other cleaners will take the moisture right out of it. Vinyl is a plastic fabric. It's petroleum based, and it will dry out like a car tire. It may not do it overnight. That's why you have to be really careful about using a lot of cleaners with silicones and things like that. May not hurt it the first time, but it's not designed to clean this kind of stuff. So you get something that's designed to clean, and we're gonna clean the walls and get the nicotine off it. So let me get to that. I threw the mattress outside to air out, so got some of this Mother's here. We'll see how good this works. And we'll just start here in this corner. No need to go hog wild, but just do a little bit at a time. Don't forget to clean under the window flaps too. They hold a lot of crap in there. We've cleaned the top here, and it's actually come out really nice. Wasn't as much nicotine on it as I thought. I'm not cleaning this. This is fabric, and I don't want to risk damaging it because after all, this is not my truck. So I'm just cleaning the hard plastic surfaces, but it's not too bad. But I got the tinge out of this, but now I have to go down here and do the second color stuff. And that stuff's a bit more filthy because it's more at arm's length. I'll show you. Like the control panel, I mean, it's just covered in a lot of dirt. And things around the lights and stuff like this around through here. So we're gonna have to give this a quick clean, and I'm gonna have to get the vacuum out after that. I cleaned under it, so let's clean on top of this here in a minute. Also, this table needs to be gone over really well, and that whole set of cabinets. It doesn't take that long to clean out a sleeper. You just have to stay at it. It's all together, even videoing, it should take me no more than about 2 hours. And that's just because I'm going to go over everything. But truthfully, if I was just doing a quick clean, half-hour tops. So let me get this cleaned up, and we'll see what happens there. This may be a job for Armor All. Let's find out. you got to be careful around your components. Oh, it comes right off. Well, that's nice. So I'm gonna have to scrub a little deeper into this stuff right here. I'm using these soft microfiber towels. They tend to, you can kind of push them into the cracks a little better. But what I really need is like a paintbrush or something to really dab. But what I really need on some of this textured surface is most likely a little scrubber, like a toothbrush or something. But let's finish this control panel and move on to the next thing. One of the problems I'm having right now is with a bunch of the stains that are really set in into this porous weave style plastic here. It's going to take a little more vigilance to get it out. Maybe a little bit of a harsher cleaner. I don't like using harsh cleaners because they tend to tear things up, but we'll try a little bit of this multi-surface here and see what happens, and then as soon as we get all that done, we'll clean the top of this tray and then we'll do the floors. So let's get these surfaces cleaned up and go from there. Stains are kind of set in. There's just a lot of just overall filth just from spilling things and having unclean hands and things like that. I'm not touching the refrigerator. That's beyond me. I don't use it. I'm not going to. It's pretty dire. So yeah. So this is bringing a lot of them out, but it's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, and we'll just try to work on them. If you really want to go crazy, a little bit of compressed air will help also, but where I'm not going to drag the air compressor out here. So let's finish up this stuff and clean this cabinet spot. I got most of my stuff out of here, but yeah, let's finish cleaning the walls over here, and we'll get to the floor, and then we'll move to the front. Now this right here is a really common thing. That's just where the edge of the mattress meets, and people throw things up there and lean against the wall and all that. I've never been in a truck, except a brand new truck, that didn't have that happen. We've all caused that problem, so luckily it should just come off. So let's use some cleaner and see if we can get that off. Okay, so we've got, that's better. I'm gonna have to just go over them some more later with something else. Found the right cleaner, but for the most part it's all done. The grass in here is my fault. The yard was mowed and I've been tracking it in and out, so I'm gonna have to play heck for that. So I need to put the mattress back in, clean up all of this stuff. I'm not gonna do anything with the mattress. We're just gonna wrap it up in a clean cloth and spray it down with Febreze and hope for the best. It really needs to be replaced. But aside from that, we're just about done with the sleeper here. So let me get the mattress in and we'll move up front. Don't be cheap. Just, if you think it needs it, it needs it. So now we're moving on to the front, and this is where things get a little dicey. As with anything, you're gonna have oils and stuff in your skin, and you're gonna leave them on things, but this dude must have been bleeding 10W30. This is actually pretty common on the truck, that right there, and he used this as an ashtray, and it's just filthy. So we're gonna clean up the armrests and whatnot in the dash and finish out the windshield and just get the best that we can. So wish me luck. This is kind of what we're dealing with right here. You can see the buildup. This just comes up from flipping things out the window. This is mostly just nicotine and cigarette ash. A lot of dirt too, but this stuff right here. So it takes a lot of cleaning. a little thing I like to do is I usually just use an old dirty rag to get the real heavy stuff. It grinds it up, it knocks it loose, and it picks up most of it. I mean, it's a dirty rag. So once I get done using this with the harsh abrasives, I'll go back over it with a really clean rag, and I'll get more life out of the rag that way. But yeah, there's no use trashing a good rag for no apparent reason. So let's get this done, and we still have to do the armrests on the seats here, these on both sides, and then we're going to get the steam cleaner out. We're going to do the seats, and then we're going to finish out the dash and the floor. So let's get back to the uprights here, the A and B pillars, and we'll just go from there. While you're at it, don't forget to get the sides of the seats. You can see how dirty they were. I've already started here, so while I'm at it, I'm just going to spray them down and get them all cleaned up. I found a Pall Mall under the seat. So the passenger side was relatively clean. I don't think anybody sat over here, but the guy's trashed. So we cleaned it up real quick. Didn't take much, just a little bit of wiping down with some Armor All and floor cleaner and whatnot, and we got that all clean and got this all clean. There's really nothing on this side. All the dirt's over from the center console that way. So let's get back in the truck on the other side and finish this out. So I've already done the dash and everything up here, so most of the mess that's up here on the dash is mine. So we're just going to give that a quick once over, get all the dust knocked off. We've already cleaned up. I've cleaned up the majority of up here. It was really bad. Let me give a quick once over on the dash, then we'll get the green machine out and get after these seats. This area right here gets the most abuse. These are not good cup holders, but they do the job. But lots of spillage here. So they tried to make them one size fits all, and they failed. So get the dirt out of here, get that all cleaned up, and then we'll just give the dash a quick once over, because I hate a dirty dash, so I actually already cleaned this. Cleaning gauges is always the most time consuming. You spray them down, but you gotta really just work at them, just one at a time. But they'll come clean. And they'll come clean, and heck, they'll look good too. The little corners kind of suck, but you'll on top of the steering column. But yeah, she's looking good. Now to tackle this. It's fairly easy to clean. You just got to put a little manpower into it. But I'm not going to film it because it could possibly look obscene. So, give me a minute. And there it is, clean. We got all the gunk off it. Be careful when cleaning things like your turn signal lever and all that. It's not like the old days where it just is, components and little pieces you can do. This is one big chunk with a wiring harness that goes all the way down. You break this, you're tearing everything apart. So just be careful when you're cleaning things on the steering column, because it can make for a bad day if you're not careful. I didn't take any pictures of these, but these switches were actually just completely black when I got the truck. But we went and got some good cleaner and cleaned them up, and they came out pretty nice. I just wanted them clean. I wasn't going to touch them. It was, yeah. So let's finish up we'll clean the windshield here, and we'll finish up and then get to the seats. I actually decided we're going to do the glass last. I'm going to crank this little green machine on, and we're going to clean these seats, clean the floors, throw the carpets down, and get out of here. It's starting to get hot, so let's crank this thing up. So just spray it down with cleaner. grab it in. It worked really well on the Crown Vic. So we'll give this a few minutes and then we'll do the driver's seat. As you see, there's some staining and whatnot. So we'll do a before and after here. And this is not unusual. This is just back sweat and holding things in your lap. Just typical. So let's see if this typicalness will come up. See, it actually looks pretty good. The stains all came out. Probably going to go over this vinyl part with some vinyl cleaner here a little later. But went over this one twice, but waiting on those. Let's get this floor in the back cleaned up and get our carpet thrown down. Okay, so we've swept it. We've sprayed it down with vinyl cleaner. And now all we got to do is just rub out these stains. And we'll be done back here. So I went to Walmart and bought a cheap rag carpet. I actually got it so it'll fit in my actual truck, not this truck. So I'm not going to cut it to trim or anything like that. This right here will actually fit perfectly in my truck. But we had to tuck the corners and stuff for this. But it looks pretty good back there and it'll hide the floor. That black shows up everything. But this right here will trap a lot of the dirt. And it'll be easier to clean. You just take it, shake it out, and put it back down. So let's get on with it. And here it is, the finished product. Like I said, you couldn't get that completely off. Those are really in there. I got a couple little things I still got to do, like the glass, but the mats came out really nice. They just hose off. The dash came out wonderfully. I'm very pleased about this. So now all we got to do is get some glass cleaner. So we're done. I had to get out of the heat. The question on everybody's mind right now is why? Why would I do this? Well, truthfully, because I'm going to spend better than a month in it. Honestly, even if they had cleaned it, I would still be maintaining it. If you're going to spend this much time in a truck, you kind of got to make it your own. So that was why. You know, I spend a lot of time in the truck. And the last thing I want to do is spend all my time in a filthy truck. So I cleaned it, I deodorized it. You saw the floors, cleaned the floors, shampooed the seats, got the nicotine off the walls, cleaned the windows. I mean, housekeeping. And truthfully, when you buy a brand new truck, all that stuff should come with it, or a used truck. But that's usually the first thing you do when you get your truck, is you go through and you clean it. You expect it to be clean, but you're going to go through and clean it and make it your own. Like I said, and I explained earlier of why it was the way it wasn't the company's fault. So I need to reiterate that. I'm not casting blame on anybody. So anyhow, I appreciate it. I just thought it'd be neat to show you just cleaning the truck. It was dirty, and I had mentioned that, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make a video cleaning the rental truck. So that was it. Not a whole lot to it, but hey, I got to use the green machine. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next video.